Books. Indeed, books. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do that so you can't see it. So you can't see the reflections. Hello, welcome to Monday. I got a little bit of a show. We got to talk about books and things that are going on in the publishing little tiny little corner of the world we all occupy. It's getting cozy, and it is getting cozy spooky season, and it'll soon be December 6th. That's that like I don't know if you're like me or like producer Jill, but when we have something on the calendar like big, the bigger it is, the more it blots out the days before it. And then the days after it are also useless because you're just like exhaling forever. So for me, December 6th is a black hole on the calendar, and it has a gravitational force that is pulling, if it's pulling all the little numbers on the calendar into it. And it is like my entire focus right now. So hello and welcome to Monday. Good to see you all. Mark, number one. Mike, Robert, good to see you. Yeah, no Country for Old Men. The artist edition sold out. It was the first edition of the three to sell out. Well, because it was the one that was available the longest, but there were 750 artist editions. And that was pretty amazing. And I think it's going to be stellar and comforting to me because I have the numbered editions of Road and Blood Meridian. And Suntop never did an artist edition of either of those two titles. So it's almost like he knew that poor little Jeff would be like, can I have more? You know, like little Oliver Twist there or whoever. I don't know. I didn't read Dickens. And I'll be standing there like, I would like more McCarthy, sir. More McCarthy. Can't get a numbered. And then he's like, well, I'll do an artist edition. And so I scooped in for that with a huge help from Phil. Thank you, Flash. That was a lifesaver. But we'll talk about Suntup tonight. There's plenty of Suntup things to discuss. But yeah, it's and hello to you, Phil. Good to see you. Brandon, sorry for the fantasy football, Brandon. I'm just trying to win. You know, I'm just trying to get my first W of the season. And you happen to be that guy. Now, I guess it is possible that you could win tonight, right? Is that at all possible? You're not projected to win. You know, and unfortunately, I'm sorry, but you're going to need one hell of a game from the Baltimore defense, and it just doesn't look like it's in the bag for you. So, apologies. Anyway, I had to get that out there. Good evening, Tim. Good to see you. Hey, Joshua. Good to see you. Patrick. Good to see you. Jay Stones. I think I'm missing some people, but I'm already distracting myself. You know, that's how it goes. Hey, what's up, Jason? Good to see you. Evening, everyone. Jeff must be pretty excited about Hellbound Heart in December. Yeah, and I think it's pretty amazing. Well, we'll talk about those, and I'll talk about what the other guesses are for the other books. I had no idea when I read the clues. I'm like, I have no idea. So, hey, Alan, good to see you. Some random guy. Nice to see you. Dave. Jared's Frankenstein is imminent in size, beauty, and quality. Love it. A lot of people have had issues with their Frankensteins. It's kind of a monster, but we'll see. Jared's always a class act, and he'll always stick by his product. So if you've gotten a Frankenstein, a Mr. Frankenstein, I looked over, I saw my name, Mr. Purple. That's my fantasy football name. So if you got one and you're not happy, Jared will make it right. It is a big honker. Good evening, Lance. You're finally winning this week, huh, Mike? Yes. Yes. What's up, David? No problem being late. I'm stoked for Lamb. Good evening, Patty, Jim. I'm starting the Hellbound Heart tonight, then on to Scarlet Gospels. What issues with Frankenstein? The binding. Somebody posted a picture how it didn't hold up. upon one reading is basically like it's coming undone the from the spine, the binding. There were pictures on the Centipede Press Facebook group. And then others are complaining that the top edge stain, you have to open the pages gingerly. That is a common problem with top edge stain. If it's on there too, if it's on there too generously, it can create this like almost seal. And then if you pull too recklessly, it could just stick to the page and tear it. So there were a lot of instructions on how to baby this book. So open it carefully, separate those pages and pay very careful attention to any pages that stick. And then, of course, you know what you're supposed to do with fine binding books. You lay them down on the spine and you open the back cover, then the front cover, then a section of the signature sheets in front and back. Like you're supposed to open it like that to break the spine in responsibly. There's a whole way, and you should look that up. You should know how to handle these books if you are going to buy them, if they need special care. And Frankenstein seems to be one of those books that needs special care. And again, we all know and trust Jared. He has a passion for this stuff. So I think if you're having an issue, you can get to it. But Hellbound Heart is phenomenal. It's weird. Hellbound Heart is one of those amazing novellas, amazing stories that exists completely differently on film. And yet it's the same story. Now, Clive Barker took liberties with the characters. So in the book, there's a love-ish triangle between Larry, Julia, Claire is the actress's name, and Kirsty. So Larry and Kirsty are co-workers, and she's very kind and sweet to him, but he's married to Julia and is like doesn't even acknowledge Kirsty as a romantic partner. And then, of course, Julia is having an affair with her brother-in-law. So there's all kinds of, the book is about passions and the return on passion being pain. That's essentially what Hellbound Heart is. Now, the movie is exactly the same story, Hellraiser, but Kirsty her concern for Larry comes as a daughter. So she's his daughter, and therefore it doesn't create any additional complications. And it's probably a better move for the movie because then you're not really thinking about that element of it. It's a non-issue, and the movie is then therefore more streamlined. You don't need to get any deeper into it. So I think it served the story well. But when it translates to the screen, the stars are the Cenobites. Even though they are in the book, you do focus more on Julia and Frank's relationship and how that haunts them, and it's the exact same as the movie, but it's just that they chew up the scenery, them Cenobites, as the kids say in Hollywood. I rented a 6x6 storage unit to display my Frankenstein. Wow, Phil, that's crazy. Frankenstein was packed so well. Yeah, I heard about that. It's like in a nesting doll situation. That's on top where the childhood friend sounds like that Christopher Moore book where Biff is Christ's best friend. Lamb. Yeah, that's what I think. A lot of people are thinking that. Lamb is the short title. Yes. Stormbringer had the same stain issue from Centipede. I was able to carefully open the page without issue. I've had a couple of his books that, when I opened it, it kind of, whoa, like the top of the page wasn't opening, and you learn really quickly not to force it. So it's, you love the top edge stain, right? I mean, you love it. So there's a price to pay, I guess. Lamb was such a great book. The book is the only book that made me laugh out loud while reading. Which book? Lamb? I hope Sometough does a puzzle box paperweight to go with the book. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yes, the larger the book, the more gently you must handle it. No problem with my Frankenstein. No pages had the top edge issue. Well, okay, that's good. I mean, there are some that have varying degrees of pull. And then, yeah, that one person posted their edition after one reading, and it was pretty bad. Now, I have my blind sight from Centipede did not last upon one reading. I could show it to you so you can see, but it did not fare well from one reading. Blind Sight was an amazing book. I don't know if you've ever read it. It was published in 2020. Very deep exploration of intelligence, artificial and otherwise. And wow, it really made me change the way I thought about intelligence. Because there's wisdom, there's intellect, there's knowledge. I mean, it's just, you got to read it. It's an amazing book. So I read it once, and I noticed as I was reading it that it was sort of losing its tightness. It wasn't, I guess. And along the gutter here, this part, see, there's a little, it's just not that defined. There's not that much of a bite making it solid. And I think that's like a little bit of glue. I don't even know what that is. Maybe if I had a little, because that really bothered me seeing it. I hadn't noticed that before. But when I open it, so I kind of wiped it, but it's still there. Anyway, when I open it, check it out. It's like it's pretty mangled. See, it's all separating. And that was one read. And I could hear it pulling away. And I'm not opening it like far. I'm not really forcing it. And it's just sort of I don't know. Which was a bummer. It's weird, but the more I like a book, if I absolutely loved this book. This really made an impression on me. And so it bothers me even more because it's a book I like. Isn't that funny? Because if it's a book you're like, it's a good book and I like it, but I'm not really gonna sweat it. And then I could tolerate that better. Because actually, I have a John. Oh my God, what the hell is his name? The smell of hay, the scent of fresh mown hay. John. This guy, John Blackburn. Actually, when I read, I don't know which one it was. But it kind of came apart too. And I'm not bashing Centipede Press. I have a lot of Centipede Press titles, and the vast majority are mwah. And I did have that one problem with Dune, but that was a weird issue. It was like that one piece of art was in there twice, so that was weird. And it's a binding error, and he straightened that out, and he inspected it for me. So he's a great guy, and I don't want to get in. I don't want to do that. I don't want to scare anybody away from Centipede. He has my full trust. So let's just say that. Yes, Lamb is a hysterical read. Oh, that's cool. Mitch is printing more Jones and Fracassi. What are you basing that on, Mr. Weapon? So anyway, yes, you want to talk about the guesses? We could talk about the guesses. Because they're fun, man. I gotta say, this No Country for Old Men release brought me right back to the good old days, man. When when Suntup was just setting them up and knocking them down. I was so happy for that teaser video and then all that stuff. So the announcement schedule for October. It's been a while since we published a mystery novel. This one features the demise of that dude from SNL. Oh wait, wrong guy. The edition is available in 3 states: lettered, numbered, and artist. The lettered is 26. The numbered is 250, and the artist is 500. All copies are printed letterpress and signed by the artist. So, of course, no author is signing. The lettered and numbers are also signed by the authors of the introduction and afterward. So that gets me jazzed, because that could be you can be getting a pretty damn sweet signature that you just can't tell from this description because he's not revealing who those signatories are. But the guess for this one is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. So that's fun. You know what? I got to check in with the Magic Duff Bucket real quick. Magic Duff Bucket. By the way, if you want to see the Magic Duff Bucket, you got to get tickets. The Duff Bucket will be there. You could see it. You could actually see what it looks like. What do you got for me? You got, this is the last one I got. This is the Pumpkin Spice Stout. 2 of my favorite things, and they don't quite live up to it, but whatever. Then we got on November is our next novel takes a look at one of history's most famous lives. Interesting. I didn't think Jesus when I read that. As told by his childhood best friend. The book is available in 3 states. I didn't know that was hilarious. That is very cool. Lamb by Christopher Moore. That's very cool. And then 250 copies. The classic is limited to 500, and all copies are signed by the author and artist. So 250. I mean, when you say classic, you already know who's signing. And then finally, Diciembre. Some boxes should never be opened, but we're pretty sure you'll want to open this one when the Suntup edition arrives at your door. That was a dead giveaway. Plus, we already know he's doing Hellbound Heart. I'm sorry, my nose is really driving me crazy. The lettered edition is 26. The numbered is 350. So he bumped it up, and that means the people who have No Country are covered up until, I forgot what it was. Well, he'll say it right here. The numbered edition is listed at 350. Does he say? Oh, okay. What does he say? Numbered owners of Outlander with a designation of 251 to 300, and numbered owners of American Gods with a designation of 301 to 350 will have rights to the numbered Hellbound Heart. So you know what that's going to do to Outlander, don't you? If there are any numbers that fall in that range that are still available on the website, you can buy Outlander right now and have rights to the numbered edition of Hellbound Heart. It's gonna be bonkers. Do you know how tempted Beef Daddy is right now? You don't have any idea how tempted I am to go get that Outlander and then just cruise control my way to the Hellbound Heart. So that's pretty awesome. But the classic edition, so again, it's a classic edition, is going to be limited to 1,250 copies. So that means Clive Barker is going to sign 1,250 copies of the classic edition, in addition to the 350 numbered and, of course, the 26. All copies are printed letterpress. GTFO. This is amazing. The classic edition is, so what do we have? All copies are printed letterpress from Hot Metal Plates and are signed by the author, who also happens to be the artist of 14 interior illustrations. So it's going to have Clive Barker artwork. This is a bonkers. I mean, and with 1,250 copies available, it's not going to be hard to get. I mean, you got to buy it Thursday when it goes up, but damn, this is going to be a banger. I'm so stoked for it. The classic edition is also signed by 2 more artists. The numbered and lettered editions are also signed by the authors of the afterword. Huh. Oh, I bet you I know who the authors of the afterword are. I know I just slurred that and I didn't even have a sip. It's probably Phil and Sarah Stokes. They handle Clive Barker's estate. And if they're saying that they're authors of the afterword and not the authors of the afterwards, then it would make me think Phil and Sarah Stokes wrote an afterword and they're both signed. So that makes sense. So this all checks out. I know I'm going to want the numbered, but I'm just going to have to be happy with the classic edition. And I'm thrilled because it's signed. It's just like with the McCammon title of Boy's Life and Swan Song. It's got the McCammon signature. Like, to me, that really does. It makes a huge difference. So, and Clive Barker artwork. Oh, that's just so spectacular. He's getting ambitious with the print run. 1250 is a lot. I don't think he's going to have any problem. I don't know what the price point's going to be, but we'll see. I can't wait. I cannot wait. You're talking about Mitch. Mitch is printing. Oh, ask Mitch when he shows up. Okay. Will attendees be able to touch the duff bucket? Yes. It won't be behind a velvet rope. I thought that would be fun. Have a velvet rope and then have an acrylic thing with the duff bucket and the Dragon Lord, behind glass. But I think well, with the people, with the friends that are coming to this, I don't have any problem with everybody getting there, touching the duff bucket. But I will say we might not want to drink out of it. You know what I mean? Because that would be fun. Wouldn't it be fun at the end of the night? We pour a bunch of Jeff Ward Stout and we all go around drinking from the communal duff bucket. One of us, and then we, there you go. And then we all pass it around. And then we are in a circle. We are locked in. We're saliva family. Oh, that's funny. The Bible is the best-selling book of all time. That makes it famous. Yes, that is true. 10 copies of Outlander numbered are still on the Suntop site. But are they the correct numbers? That is the cue. So dumb question. Do we all like Hellbound? I haven't read it. Hellbound is amazing. It is probably, if you are somebody whose only introduction to Clive Barker is Hellraiser, and Pinhead and all that, you're not going to, and again, it is the weirdest thing in the world. It is the exact same story. But translate it, in the translation is where you get slasher icon. But in this, I'm telling you, the book, the novella, is almost about, it's Hellbound Heart. It's really just about heartbreak. It's about the pain that passion causes. It's love triangle. I mean, the shape of the book is a triangle. It's love triangles and obsession and passion, unrequited love. Julia is chasing Frank. Frank is just chasing the next perverse high. So he doesn't give a shit about Julia. She was just something. She was just an afternoon, a few afternoons. Meant nothing to him, but it meant everything to Julia. And Julia means everything to Larry, but she means nothing to him because she's fallen and she's passionate about Frank. And then Kirsty, at the end of it all, really genuinely cares for. I think that is the most selfless love in the whole book. She really cares for Larry. I feel like I'm messing up his name. It's Larry Cotton, right? So it just shows that through the whole thing, they're this spectrum of hot and cold passions all the way up to this demon and to the Cenobites. It's this ladder. And so I think it's a deeper book than you probably thought it would be. And it hits different because like there's love and obsession that Julia would kill for. And then Frank was killed for his. Like it's just there's so many ins and outs. It's a beautiful story. It's a romance in the most twisted way. And it's not an insult. The movie is not an insult to the book, but it really dumbs it down. It brings it to its most grotesque and simple conclusion, I've never read a Clive Barker book. Don't shoot me. That is fine. Clive Barker and his acquired taste, Jay Stones. Yes. I'd agree. Like people being on the fence buying books. I'm on the fence for burning my Stephen. Well, no, you don't burn your Stephen King collection. But I don't know. For me, Clive Barker was an instant, just like Philip Fracassi and Thomas Oldehuveld, and Chad Lutsky. Just an instant connection. On some level, it was like boom, plugged in, wired up, all cylinders firing. I get it. I'm there. I loved it. So I think Clive Barker's Damnation Game is probably one of my favorite books, and I need to reread Weave World and Cabal and Books of Blood. But I think getting back to something someone said earlier, I loved. I'm going to read Hellbound Heart and then jump into Scarlet Gospels. I hated Scarlet Gospels. There's no way Clive Barker wrote that whole book. There's no way. No way. The first part was great, and then it was just a pre-adolescent or preteen comic book. It was junk. The first portion was pretty brilliant, or not. I wouldn't say brilliant, but it was really good. I was so excited for it, and then it just took a shit, and I was like, it was worse because it was like seeing your favorite brain get fried right before your eyes, or your favorite piece of art have paint thrown right on it. Like it's just shocking. And almost, I said, in one of my reviews of that, I said, was Clive Barker trying to torture his readers the same way he tortures his characters? Because this was awful. And that's a shame. So I would skip Scarlet Gospels. But Clive Barker is just an amazing writer. Greetings and salutations, friends and fiends. Good to see you, Stephen Wayne Elson Jr. Hey, RA's here. I assume you're being hyperbolic. Oh. Hello, Mitch is here. He showed up. Looking forward to Hellbound Heart to go with my Imagica. Yeah, me too. Oh, man. And I have both Imagica numbered and artist. And if I was still in the same situation financially, I would do that for Hellbound Heart. I would have done it for McCammon too. I would love a photo of Dragonlord sitting in my lap, aka Santa. Well, I think the Dragonlord is out of his pen. This is the stand I keep the Dragonlord on, and he's running loose somewhere. That's not a good sign. Maybe this is the night producer Jill shows up on camera with the Dragonlord to my demise, and then we have a murder mystery that's immediately solved. So not much of a mystery. So LOL, been a few months, but I thought I'd join it. I thank you for being here, Andrew. Pull up a seat. Have a frosty one. Got my Rapture chat book today. Thanks, Mitch. I might get mine someday. I don't know. Just make sure you are the first one to drink from the duck bucket. Like Vikings. Should I get a Viking helmet? And then we all like, we all sing and we slosh the bucket around and then we, and then we have a funeral pyre in the courtyard. I don't joke about dementia. Oh. Mitch, any hints on the Jones and Fracassi titles? Yeah, Jason there was spilling some tea about Mitch printing some more Jones and Fracassi titles. That is the most perfect description of existence. I started out with so much hope, and then it just went to shit. Hello, Jesse. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much life, you know. Pretty much. The higher your expectations, the further you have to fall. Yes. The voice that told you don't tell the vision. Don't fear the reaper. Yeah, Mitch, what's the story? Mitch, the tea was somewhat spilled, and I had no hand in it. Wasn't me. You can play the tapes back. Any incriminating evidence is recorded here for distribution, if you so choose to distribute. The voice that told you don't tell the vision, the one that spoke in all of your minds on March 31st, 2020. I don't think I heard anything that day, but you never can tell. The only thing I'll say this time is they'll both be the longest stories I've published so far. Ooh, wait. What? Oh, unless you're not counting 10K plus words each. Mitch, I could go. I just turned my story into Mitch yesterday. I went from dreading the task of it to loving the journey of writing it to handing it in and immediately going, wow, I feel and this is just how I feel. This might not be the truth. This might not be reality. And I don't want to poison the well. But I felt like, and I'm not saying this lightly or insultingly, but I felt like a Make-A-Wish kid who everybody is just making feel better. You know, like I feel like handing my story to Philip Fracassi and him agreeing to read it and write the intro and all that was sort of like, I don't deserve that. So it's imposter syndrome. It's all of that. It's my hang up. I really do love the story. I had a blast writing it. I could see so much potential. If little Mitchy boy wants it to go beyond 10,000 words, I could have easily done that with this story. It came in at 8,300. I pared back so much. And I hope the story didn't suffer for it. I was trying to be as streamlined as possible. But this first section of the story I initially wrote, it was 1,250 words. And it was supposed to be just the little intro section about how this guy buys his RV. And it was like, I'm like, there's no way. I'm going to go way, at the time I was thinking 5,000 words. I'm going to go way over 5,000 because I haven't even gotten to the good stuff. And so I went and I rewrote it and I got it down to 400 and some words. And I tried to streamline it because it's also good to keep the story moving and try to focus on what the reader needs to see. And it still came in at over 8,000. And I could have, there are a couple of sections that I really thought differently. And I kept it, I try to keep it as tight as possible. So if Mitch wants words, I could just throw some words, man. I don't know if they're going to be any good. Haha, not counting daytime. Yeah, that's what I thought, Mitch. Um, just got an email from Suntup. Swan Song numbered is on the way. Nice. Oh man, had me on pins and needles here. Yeah, Mitch is gonna need a bigger stitch for those two. um, you need beta readers, Jeff. I don't know. I sent it to Mitch and Philip. Gonna get notes on them from them. The thing is, the deadline, man. You know, it fast approaches. Um, so I don't know. I'll figure it out. Already calling it right now. Jeff's story is all Chad. That's again it making me feel good. Thank you. I appreciate that, Chad. Uh we'll see. You know, we'll see. I really, really do. I think at one point for me, the exercise was interesting because I've written a lot of stuff. I mentioned this in the newsletter, but I've written a lot of stuff in college and just here and there. I was in a writers group before college, and I did all this stuff. And this is the first time I felt like the characters had autonomy. Like they like in the other stories I'd written, it felt like I wrote stuff and the characters were always looking back at me going like, "Well, now what? What do we do now? Okay, I'm in this room and I'm talking to this person. What's the point? Like, what do I got to do?" And it just was like that's not how it should feel. This was the first time where I actually felt, wow, they're talking to each other, and I'm going to capture this, and they're thinking things, and I'm just going to capture it, but I'm not generating it. It was a pretty it's trippy. I'm so glad I had this deadline, this crusade to do it. You know. And now, I mean, I'm sure there'll be revisions. I'm sure there'll be other stuff I have to do, and I I will get it out, and it'll be your property, and you could decide. You know, we'll have to do a director's cut. Yeah, that would be crazy. It better be good. Don't waste my time. Just kidding. I'm sure. Thank you, and I like. I think another thing I did for this story was I wrote it for us. You know, it gets meta um, in parts, and it is really for us. We are in it. There are tons of Easter eggs, so I think I don't know. And there's already things I'm thinking even after I handed it in. Like I want to tweak, revise. There are names I want in there that aren't in there right now. So anyway, I look forward to the reactions, but I also dread the reactions. It's the most vulnerable thing a writer could do is let someone read it. uh, so yeah, anyway, it's fun, and I think it's going to be a blast. Haven't read it, David Perry. Oh wait. If it's chat approved, then it's going to be good. He didn't read it yet. Yeah, haven't read it, but read plenty of Jeff's newsletters. And though writing nonfiction is a different part of your brain, it is. He already writes better than most indies. Oh well, thank you, Chad. That means a lot. I mean, I definitely want to give people. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I read To Be a Ghost 3 days ago, and it's got me questioning Chad's sanity. That was some messed up. It was awesome. But the thing that I loved about To Be a Ghost, you're right, it is some messed up stuff. But wow, like I said before, I had to read that ending a few times, going, "What?" Like it's messed up in the most powerful way because you could be ham-fisted about this stuff. You could write things and you could be gruesome, you could be gory, you could be shocking. That I did always admire, again, I did always admire Bill Cosby because for a guy in his, he was a comedian, and he didn't need to get gross or dirty or provocative, and he was hilarious. And it's a shame what's become of him. It's funny. I'd rather have the person who's very foul on the outside, but a genuinely wonderful soul on the inside, as opposed to somebody who did all clean comedy but was a monster privately. But anyway, that my point is, like, what Chad does is, it's not just like, it's not clean and sanitized, but it's what he's doing is actually a lot harder to really throw a punch. I remember Slow Burn on Riverside. Shit, that was like, what? Like, so again, you have to discover the authors I'm telling you to read and enjoy them. And what's nice is that I've come to appreciate all these different authors for different reasons. So I know exactly where to go when my mood is right there. And yeah, I think it's a great season to read Chad Lutsky. Except for the 2022 Christmas card. Wait, what? What was that? What do you mean that? I don't know what I wrote. Agree, Jeff writes much better than he speaks. Oh, okay. That is true. That is true. That wasn't an insult. When I said, oh, okay, yes, you've pointed that out. In fact, I never in a million years, I honestly, never in a million years thought I would do any live streams or any videos at all. So yeah, you could tell that when I talk, sometimes the wheels spin on these lives, not as much, but when I do videos, there's so much dead space I edit out because I'm speaking and not writing, and that dead space would be me looking at the words, backtracking and rewriting. And yeah, speaking ain't my thing. I'm just loud. Yeah, sequel for To Be a Ghost has my money. Oh, that's cool. Early to res. Gonna slip out. Have a great week, everyone. You too, Phil. And again, thank you for helping me get that No Country for Old Men. It was everything, Phil. Thank you so much. Jeff, that means you crossed into another plane. Congratulations. Yes. I have tried. I've tried. And I do have a funny, gross body horror short story that I popped into my head the other day, and I want to try. It'd be very short though, and I would give that to the patrons on Patreon, for sure. I think you're a great writer, Jeff. I'm looking forward to reading your Great American Novel. Thank you, RA. I only laughed because it's like Great American Novel. I'm telling you, yeah. I'll be the worst judge of my writing, probably. So I leave it to all of you. And I'm flattered for the compliments. I really am. It does mean a lot. I do put a lot of energy and thought into everything I write, and I want it to be good. So I appreciate that. Not all endings are how you expect, like with Tremblay. Yeah. Wait, am I being compared to Bill Cosby? You're the opposite, maybe. Yeah. I think you meant what he did as opposed to what became of him. Just looking out. Talking about Bill Cosby? Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yes. I think that's what you mean. Yeah. I found it the other day. You sent one to a few people. Yeah. Well, I don't remember what you got, Mark. I did that in 22. I should have done that every year. And in fact, it wasn't a Christmas card. It was like a New Year's card, but because I can't get anything done on time. The Widows of Winding Gale finally sold out. Not sure if you mentioned that yet. No, I did not. And I'm glad it sold out. I'm thrilled it sold out. It's a worthy book. I'm waiting on my copy. I'll find it and take a pic. Oh, that's cool, Mark. Thank you. I didn't get mine yet because I think Paul Miller a few times has sent my books to my old Chicago address. And then they got to get sent back to him, and then he sends them along to me. So that may be why there's a delay, because I see everybody's getting their books, and I'm like, did I say something that pissed off Paul? Ah, damn it. And it's like, it's a constant fear I have when I just get up to this microphone and I speak my mind freely without censoring myself. I do worry, and I don't mean to. I hate making people feel attacked or off or whatever. And I just can't imagine what I said. But I catastrophize everything. Every time producer Jill goes to the store to get something or runs an errand that should take 45 minutes, and she's not back after 3 hours, I'm like, she's dead. She's dead. This is death. She's gone. And I start texting and calling. And she's just out with her boyfriend. But she's fine. So that's good. I thought that was a Valentine's card. It could be whatever you want. I got my Widows the other day. Excited to read it. Fantasy update. Okay, well, what are we at in the league? I'm now, Brandon, you're losing even more. I'm sorry. Nothing I could do about it. Let's see. Peasants Eat Cake is kicking the shit out of Patrick. I'm sorry, Patrick. Right? Is that Patrick? Yes, you are winning. That's why you wanted an update. Mitch, what are you doing? Mitch, you're getting trounced. You only have 52 points, Mitch. Oh, and you're projected to get 70, but it ain't looking good. Jason's kicking the shit out of you. And wow, Mike is beating Philip so badly. Mike is winning the whole league. My brother-in-law is winning by the skin of his teeth right now, but he's projected to win against Jim. Oh, that's a fantasy update. I don't think, other than the 10 people in the league, I don't know how many people care, but it was a New Year's card. Paul publishes what he chooses, so I don't think you could offend him. No, I hope not. He's a good friend of mine. Dude, injuries galore, awful week. That is so bad, Mitch. 52 points. Ouch. I mean, if anybody's wondering, this is the league. Jeff Ward, books and balls. There it is. Mr. Purple and Brandon. Sorry, Brandon. But as you can see, I am winless and you are, undefeated. So these are the scales of justice. Peasants eat cake. Stephen Wayne Ellison Jr. Season of 1-1 so far. And there's no way out for Game of Zones. He's done. So that's final. There's got the Chizriz. In case you were wondering what he would call his team. And you're never digging out unless, whatever you need to get 50, you need to get 60 points additional. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. This is a done deal. Philip is not rebounding. So, Mike, you beat Philip. Good luck getting a goddamn thing signed. And then my brother-in-law and Jim, and that's a heartbreak because they were both. Me and Mike are brothers. Look at this, 0-2, and I'm 0-2. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun. My Bengals are killing me. I can't believe the Bears beat the Cowboys yesterday. I know. Caleb had a magical game. Yeah, the Bears, they're going to win one once in a while. It's like the Titans suck. I traded the Bears for the Titans, and I did not trade up. I just made a lateral move. Ugh. Hey, you want to see what is in my story? This is interesting, kind of. I don't know if I should show it. This is part of my research. It's part of my research. And and in case anybody wants it, in case anybody wants to buy it, this is part of my research for the story. I wanted to think of what was the most obnoxious gun you could own. And there it is. The Colt Python 357 Magnum revolver, 8-inch barrel. You don't need an 8-inch barrel. That's what she said. And then, you could buy it. You could save $413 if you want to buy it. But there it is. This is in the story. This is in the story. So now you yeah. So that is interesting. I didn't plan on showing guns on my channel tonight, but mysteries abound. Mystery. So what else do we have to talk about? We talked about Suntup. Oh, that I am so happy he did an artist edition. And I am so relieved that none of the editions are signed by the Coen brothers. I don't know if you recall, but my reading comprehension is for shit, unless it's fiction. I'm not good with details. I'm just not. And so in the announcement for No Country for Old Men, it probably said all editions are just signed by the artist. So I was thinking that what if the numbered edition is signed by the Coen brothers because they did that movie? We had William Friedkin and Francis Ford Coppola, which I have both signatures on that shelf. I got to gloat because I don't have a future of getting books like that anymore. So I gotta be the kid that gloats. Please let me flex on it. So, anyway, I was relieved because if that numbered edition had a Coen signature, I would have had to get it. I would have had it. I would have had to sell some books to get it. Producer Joe would have made me sell my books, my plasma. I would have had to. But he did the artist edition, and the Coen brothers didn't sign. So I could do my little mismatch set with the Road and Blood Meridian and have the numbered the artist classic edition. No, not classic. Artist edition of No Country. And just counted it as a win, because it is. That artist edition looks amazing. It's printed letterpress. I love the boards, and I love that dust jacket. So I'm very, very happy. And I'm happy it sold out for him. The PS anthology with Tyler Jones is still available. Which one, Jason? Let me know. Weren't you going to talk about Sleepy Hollow? Yes, I was. Yes, you're right. So what's interesting, did I lose it? I lost the thread. Why does that happen? We just got to go to the unofficial Fableistic group all over again. That's fine. So what was puzzling to me is this is Macmillan, right? Fableistic is Macmillan. And I don't know if this is, and they are late. Let me just it's not going to get any bigger. That's what she said. So this guy Trenton Goldsmith sounds like he came over on the Mayflower, but what do I know? He said he got an email from Fableistic, and they're talking about Sleepy Hollow. And they said the collector's edition has been redesigned, and we will unveil the images next week. It will now feature a one-piece red cloth case with Greg's original art inlaid on the front cover with full foil stamping on the spine. The acrylic slipcase will showcase laser-etched tree on the back panel, a design detail now found across all three editions, inspired by Washington Irving's estate for a hauntingly beautiful effect. And they don't anticipate this to be delivered until December, which is pretty close. And then the lettered and numbered editions are slated for the 2026, March or April. And then And they're kind of half-assed blaming Nomad Letterpress. Not half-assed. It sounds unfair, but they're sort of putting it. The lettered and numbered editions. We're so proud that our inaugural title is being printed with handset type by Pat and Ellen at Nomad Letterpress. They have been so fun to work with, invaluable in their guidance, and endlessly patient as we navigate the process for the first time. So there might have been a dust up. That sounds like mending fences. Maybe not. I'm just an alarmist. Okay. Sometimes I like to light a little fire, but that's how I read that. And also saying they're slow. Like the hang up is kind of because of them, but and mending fences. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe they yelled at them and they're like, "What do you want? This is handset letterpress. Like, we don't do books on demand. This is a whole different animal." And so, but anyway, delivery timeline, we're currently estimating to ship these editions in March and April for the lettered. We'll continue to keep you updated. So I just find it interesting that this is a press with vast resources, but it makes sense, I guess, when you go and you have a finite number of artisans and their process and their schedule is going to go at the pace it's going to go. You can't speed up quality, and you shouldn't. So I think this is where big corporation meets artisanal craftsmanship. The two don't normally play well together. But I am so shocked it's taken this long to get it out. And why did they redesign the collector's edition? I'd love to get those details. Maybe Taylor is going to explain somewhere or elaborate on why did you redesign something. The only thing I could think of is it did not sell well. And I think redesigning it is not the issue. I think when they came on the scene, they got a lot of people, including myself, upset at how things were, how the space was getting crowded. And again, we're worried about the artisanal craftsmen, the fine press process, and here this monolithic, this titan of the industry comes in and crowds the space. That's going to be upsetting. People are going to get ruffled. And then when the dust settles and when people actually get books, then they'll be, okay, well, this is what I can expect. This is a Folio Society quality book. Or it's a grade above because I paid $275 for it, and I can get a folio for about $100. So I paid more than twice as much, and it's just as good. So that to me, that equates a waste of money. But maybe not. Maybe they would be like, wow, this is so much better. So that's the thing. That was the next hurdle. I think anybody who was sitting on the fence and not buying Sleepy Hollow was strictly because they needed to see the product. This is an unproven press, and it was an unsexy title for a lot of people, a public domain title. And they should have come out with a bang. Like, why not Hidden Pictures for your first title? A living author with a popular hot read? Man, I don't know. I don't know if that would have changed anything. Strategically, I think it was a misfire. They had the resources to come out swinging, And if that's what they were going to do and they were going to take over the space, then own it. Don't shrink from it. Own it. Piss people off. We'll get over it or we won't. Loyalists will ideologues will die by their values, or they'll be swayed by a beautiful book that they didn't know they needed. I don't know. So redesigning it sounds like an attempt to move more inventory. And I think that's not if you're fixing something that's not necessarily broken. Was there feedback saying that the title's design was underwhelming? I don't think so. I think what I heard a lot of was there were just too many copies. The print run was way too high. So that was an issue. And the price was way too high for such a high print run. Those were the metrics that were a little bit out of whack and sort of that flowed against the small press culture. So redesigning it wasn't ever. I thought the page design was really nice, and their added materials, their added pages and behind the scenes stuff was really cool. So I don't know. To me, that was not the issue. And the sooner they got that book out, the sooner they would have knocked. It would have gotten another blip in the market. So you put that book out, and all of a sudden people are sharing pictures and talking about it and sharing their thoughts. They could have sent me one. I would have showed it off. I would have been happy to. Just like I'd be happy to read a Richard Chizmar book if he sent me one so I could review it honestly. And I would love to be impressed by Fabulistic. I'm rooting for better things and happier things in the world. So I would have showed it off totally. But then they'd get more attention. They released the book. Those fence sitters would either fall off one way or the other, and then they'd move on to their next title. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you pay tuition. But that tuition is to learn something to help you make more money later on. So the pain can translate into knowledge. And that's what they should have done with that first release. The delay is now giving them another con, So I think, and yes, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking here. I think if Taylor got me on the phone and asked me questions, would I have this clarity? I don't know. It's hard to be the executive and make the decision because then you could be wrong. You could be wrong, and then you've gone down another path. So anyway, let's see. So yes, New Writings in Horror and the Supernatural Volume 3. Oh, okay. Yes. So interesting. Limited 100 signed copies. Order now, my friends. Yes. So it's probably like New Maps of Dream. So it's a similar situation probably as here's a Dragon Lord right here. So is this? Yes. So PS Publishing. Oh yeah, here's a Dragon Lord. Buy a ticket to con and you could actually see the Dragon Lord at in person. And you'll see this is a skull crusher. That's what it's called because you're supposed to hold it here, and another angle of defense or offense is you bring that down on the head of your adversary in war. The Dragon Lord is also in the story I wrote. Yes, the Dragon Lord plays a pretty crucial role too. It's in there, plays it has a moment, let's say. So anyway, yeah, PS does anthologies like this, which are very affordable. This is the one Philip Fracassi is in, and they do multiple signatures on the signature page. And I was lucky enough to get this one at the published price for it was like 30 pounds, I believe. It's very affordable. So there's also another one called 10 Word Tragedies. They had 19 different authors in it. Josh Mallerman's in it. I forget who else. And I got that one too. That is long sold out. 10 Word Tragedies is very cool. So they do a limited number, and then they'll do of signed ones, and then they'll do huge amounts of a trade edition. Curious King's Obelisk Gate comes out this week. I'm looking forward to it, even though I haven't read the 5th season yet. I know I got to read the 5th season. Is it a standalone? No, I think it's a sequel. Yeah, it's a sequel to 5th season. Yeah. Wasn't this also not the first redesign? I don't know, Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. I don't remember. I don't know. Did they redesign it already? Ugh. Hey, friends, sorry I'm late. JJ, how you doing in fantasy football? Oh, yeah, you're losing. No, you're beating the piss out of Mitch. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. You're beating his ass so bad. What's up? So 59 pounds for the book. Ooh, really? 59? That's kind of steep. I'll have to look it up. But it's got Tyler Jones in it. God damn it. I'm just somebody who doesn't really go for anthologies all that often. Even though I really do want to be a completist, I'll never be a completist. It's so hard to be a completist, even with Philip Fracassi stuff, man. I mean, when I say it like that, it sounds bad, but I meant it as in like, try being a completist with Stephen King. Like, it's just unthinkable. Robert McCammon, somebody who goes back to the 80s. Joe Lansdale. Oh my God. You forget it. But Philip Fracassi hasn't had that long of a career comparatively. And even still, I can't be a complete. I couldn't get Third Rule of Time Travel lettered. There's no way I was going to be able to afford it. And also the Roman numeral Zagavas, the lettered No Child, No Child, A Child Alone with Strangers. There's just so many. I just never, the Thunderstorm lettereds I never got. The more I'm thinking about it, the more depressed I'm getting because I am so far out of whack with being a completist for one of my favorite authors. It's kind of bonkers. I was worried about Lamar Jackson scoring 60 points on me. No worries there. We can all laugh at Mitch. That's fine. Although he's reading my story and he could tell me it's trash. So, and shatter my fragile ego. House of the Horse is in it. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that because I have the Chappie. I love anthologies. Sometimes all I want is a short story. Yeah, I hear you, Jason. I don't know. It's so hard. So wanted to be a Joe Lansdale completist, but damn, I have 270 pieces of his, and it's still not all. There's no way you could do it. Have to cut out. Loki is calling. Later, Gators. Stephen Wayne Allison Jr. That's why you were named what you were named in my book. That's what I'll say about that. Just focus on being a completist reader. You can read everything he wrote without collecting all the letters. Yes, you're right, Jason. And I'm happy to have one of all of his titles. I don't have Mother. And then there's another one he's written, but was it ever out? Happy Holly. I don't know if that was ever out in any form. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, Fabulistic is a shock to me. I was curious to see the books. I wanted to know what they were bringing. And I will say, here's the other thing. I was very happy when they went to this format for Hidden Pictures. So they went to a collector's edition and a standard edition. Now, they never did a numbered or a lettered, right? So, but this to me was like, yes, we have our American folio. I like folio books. I like them tremendously. I would love a US folio. And this is where we got a folio plus. So folio are probably more along the lines of a standard edition here. They won't go to this collector's edition level probably, and they're not signed. But what I don't understand is um I want details. Can I get the detail? Okay. So what's the limitation? I don't remember. Print run is 1,500. And I think he's signing it, right? Please note. It's international. Signed by Jason. Yeah. So I heard great things about this book. I own it. I haven't read it. But this is signed. It's going to have 52 pieces of art. It's a pretty big print run, but the price reflects that for something with a slipcase and a signature. I think that's pretty awesome. Look at this animation. Look at that. It's got a little bit of an animation to it. And then there's going to be a variation from what I understand between 4 pieces of art or 8 on that. Yeah, you can get, or 3. Oh, 3 of 6 cover options. That's pretty cool. I was very, very tempted. And now that I'm here, I'm very tempted again to get it. But again, they're not doing themselves any favors by not getting out Sleepy Hollow. And I'm just, I guess I'm not that shocked now that I see it's a print run of 1,500 that it's not sold out. And we also have here, I wonder how many is the standard? Oh, this is interesting. The standard is not going to be limited to anything. So this is going to be probably I don't know about a print on demand situation, but I think if the demand is high enough, they could just print more copies and just label it as second printing. Folio does that, so that's all fair game. So this won't sell out. But anybody who's a fan of this book should get this. I mean, I got to read the book. It was a very buzzy book. And so I haven't read it. I don't know how many people have. Look, everybody's got these numbers. I don't know what it means. Number 3, number 2, number 1. It's in the anthology Mother. Oh, Jesus, 85 for a standard edition? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, that 85 doesn't mean anything until you hold the book. I mean, I'd pay 85 for a folio. Folios are lovely books. So it's like whatever. Yes. That's what happens when you get old. You just go, yes, into a microphone on a live stream. I don't know. I was surprised to be disappointed by Fatalistic. I thought that was sort of like that ship had sailed. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what the chapbook, my chapbook will be like, right? It's going to be like a set. Isn't that right, Mitchell? I'll never get over that. Again, where I feel like a Make-A-Wish kid, where people are humoring me to make me feel good. I'm actually a signer right next to Philip. And you know what I think I'm going to do with this chapbook? I'm going to just sign it Jeff. Because producer Jill's like, why'd you sign it Jeffrey? Because it actually looks like Jeffy. So I think this then will be even rarer. Even rarer. It was the first Jeff Terry signature you could get. Unless you bought my the anthology I was in, But Did You Die? Oh, I'm getting a kick out of This Is Your Life, Jeff. I'm getting a kick out of it. So, yes, that'll be the sort of format. But I also got this in the mail. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It is the Spanish language edition of Third Rule of Time Travel, and it has French flaps, people. Those people over there in Europe, man, they like their French flaps, and I like them too. And then, of course, signed by Philip Fracassi. But look at that cover, man. Don't. I mean, that is so badass. This alongside with Francois' art on Third Rule, it's like I love it, love it all. But one thing I do wonder is who's that face? I gotta say that looks like Donald Trump, doesn't it? I'm sure the artist is like, you son of a bitch. But look at that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, ooh, that's creepy. What's going on here? Is there something about the story I don't remember? And I won't be able to unlock it because I don't read Spanish. But anyway, it also came with a sticker that I now can't find. Oh no, I lost the sticker. There was a little logo sticker that had the company's logo. I probably just shoved. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I just shoved it in the book carelessly. So I had a little sticker. I'll probably put it on my gun safe in the basement. Oh yeah. They gave me something about a book I'm not going to be able to read. Boom, or buy. There's that. And then this is badass. There's a postcard. David Rendo did the art. Look at that. That's the whole shebang. Unobstructed with the back cover copy, the full piece. That is stunning. I love it, man. I was so happy when I got that. And Mitch, thank you so much. And Juan, I don't know if Juan, you're here. Thank you so much for facilitating that. I know I shouldn't be getting foreign language editions, but I love Third Rule so much. And another Philip Fracassi signature, So that's awesome. You should sign it, Jeff, to be different. I'm going to. I have 4 Jeffy Sigs. 4. I got mine also. So cool. It is. It is so very cool. I also got this in the mail. Dead Leaves by Keelan Patrick Burke. So if you didn't know, he was selling some direct. And I'm thinking this is going to be one of the books I give away at Jeff Con. So this signed edition of Dead Leaves, purchased directly from Keelan Patrick Burke, will be yours if you're the lucky winner. And then I have this inscribed edition, which is going to be treasured. What's cool in this book that I thought was so nice and just awesome of Keelan was he has a whole section of recommended books. And it goes on for quite a number of titles. There's just a shit ton of great titles he's suggesting for like a Halloween read. And then he also does it for recommended movies. That is so cool, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe, the stupidest things make me geek out. But I loved seeing it. It's like a friend just saying, hey, these are all the movies that and all the books that I get jazzed about, and it's just such a nice touch. So I love it. So that's my show and tell portion. So yes. Oh, Leviathan is imminent. That should be coming out very soon. Closes out the Matthew Corbett series. I'm very upset. I need to read King of Shadows. I need to read it. And then Leviathan. And I'm very disappointed that I haven't yet. So, but that's coming out. We talked about Suntop. We talked about Fableistic. We talked about Levidian. But there's also, was there something else here? What I found interesting, and maybe you could help me crack the code on this one. Let me pull it up here. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Let me see if I can get the email going. So this is Twisted Retreat. Now, tell me what you think. Maybe you guys can sleuth this one for me and let me know what title it is. But check it out. So this is the Twisted Retreat October reveal. So it's their 3-year anniversary box. And the book hint. This month's book is from Cemetery Dance. Our protagonist is former military whose partner took their child to a doomsday cult looking to ignite the end of the world. She must go on one last mission into the hideout of this cult to save her child and the world. It's a race against the clock to save their lives and souls. You will feel the terror of the character's face. Wait, you will feel the terror of the character. You will feel the terror of the character's face. You'll feel the terror of their face. Book reveal on September 23rd. So I'll find out tomorrow what the book is, but I was just wondering if you guys thought of anything. Could it be a Cemetery Dance book? I went to their current titles. I couldn't find anything. I'd be thrilled if it was Michael Carita. I need another book from him. It'll be so damn cool to meet Keelan. Seems like a cool guy. Yes. Jeff, you can use the Translate app in your phone to read the non-English editions. Yeah, I know. I suppose I could, but I think I'll just read the English editions unless somehow they work to Trump into this story. Then I, just out of a curiosity, I'd have to read it. He wrote a great inscription to me in Dead Leaves. That's nice. He's a great guy. He is. I can't wait for him to be here. Which will bring me to my final note of the evening. The one thing I want to just between us. Today, Jeff, I've been trying to figure out what book that would be too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. We'll find out tomorrow, I suppose. But just between us, I confirmed there will be another addition to Jeff Con. Today, I've got an agreement, and he bought the plane ticket from Francois Vaillancourt. He will be at Jeff Con December 6th in the room with Philip and Keelan Patrick Burke and Mitch Hull and bibliopathologist Gerald Ward and all of the great people who decide to show up, but we'll have Francois there and he'll be there. I mean, I was so happy. It's like there are so many people I would love to have there. I would love to have Tyler Jones. I would love to have Chad Lutsky. I would love to have so many people. I'd love to have the publishers in the room. I would need an arena to get all these people, all the space they should have. But my God, it's going to be awesome. And I will try to add more folks as we come up to the deadline. To have, and I'm going to have to reformat the schedule. I think I'm going to have to change the structure of how we spend the day. It'll probably be more like of a panel discussion and then some time to go to tables to buy books, to get stuff signed. I'm going to have to cook some things. But the magic happens when we're all in the room together. That's the magic. So that's what I'm aiming for. And those interactions, those people meeting people. And again, my first Jeff Con. I don't know if there will be another. I don't know if there will be 15 more. I never can tell, but I'm going to learn a lot this go round. I'm going to learn what works, what doesn't, and if there are any future ones, they'll only be bigger and better. So, anyway, we haven't even got through this one. I haven't survived up until this date, December 6th. I have to stay alive at least that long. And I hope to present and give you guys all something that's going to be a lot of fun. You could maybe even wear the Duff bucket, like maybe there's some, like we're just a bunch of friends. So yes, David, Patty, yes, that's awesome. That is awesome. We need Chad and Tyler. Yes, we do. Just read St. Mary of the Lost yesterday. Very cool. It was very atmospheric. Very cool. I'm glad you were able to get one and read it. So yeah, I'm very excited, and it was just a kind of crazy run up to this event, and I'm both excited and terrified, which is probably the best combination of feelings you can have heading into October. But so cool, so very cool, and it's like everybody who's coming to this are just some genuinely great human beings. I've been blessed with knowing so many great human beings from this channel. So it would be such a tragedy not to try to get us in a room together. It's just once in a while to say hey. So it's very cool. Veil by Jonathan Jans is out now. I get it and read it. Did you love it? Jonathan Jans. Oh, I'm sure you would love it if I had him there too. I don't know. Maybe I'll have like a King Con sized, but I would never have it in Vegas. Where they have it in Atlantic City. They're going to casinos. So it's Atlantic City next year. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to go. I read it. Good book. Veil. So on that note, because I'm not going to say anything that's going to make me any happier, I'm going to cut it out, cut the show, cut it out, and get back to the planning, the writing, the fun of it, the celebration of it, the energy. And I'll see you all in a week. Oh, no, I won't. I'm sorry. Next week, I will not go live. I'm glad I had that written down. No live next week. I have to take that Monday off. Very important day for me. And so, yes, sorry about that. I probably should have said it at the top so everybody who is here would have known, but then the people who joined late wouldn't know. And I'd like to reward the people who stuck around. So anyway, no live next week. And anyway, so see you in 2 weeks. Have a great 2 weeks, which is a fortnight. And I will see you. What are you going to do? You're going to enjoy your day. Read something good. Colonoscopy. That is important. You could just send your poop in now to the lab. You could just poop in a box and send that in. And that's a screening they can do now. Instead of like fasting for like 80,000 hours and drinking some vile concoction and then the indignity of it all, but it is important. So take it easy, everyone. Good night. See everybody online in 2 weeks. Hope we can survive next Monday without Jeff. You will do just fine. Next time, say it every 15 minutes. It's funny. See everyone later. End it with some good news. Francois, that is. Yes. Love it. All right. Well, I'll get going. I don't know how to end a conversation, so I'm just going to cut it out. And I'll stay frosty for 2 weeks.